Asha Cooper, welcome to In Her Era.
Hi.
I am so excited that you are here. I met you recently at an event and I was like, oh my gosh, I must have this girl on the podcast because you're a girl that just wears that many hats.
Yeah, it's honestly a little bit chaotic. The hat's going to fall off the head any minute now.
So let's go. You're a social media strategist, content creator, recently graduated honors in psychology, model,
Yes.
tech founder,
Yes.
and top 10 finalist in Miss Universe Australia.
Yes.
Firstly, congratulations, because
Thank
that
you.
is huge. You should feel so proud of that achievement.
I know, looking back, it's like I really did all of that in the space of 8-9 months. It's been a lot, but insanely fun.
Yeah. So if you were introducing yourself to someone and they're like, what do you do? How would you even describe what you do?
I like to say I'm the definition of a multi-passionate person. I think that sums me up quite well.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people that also do a lot of things like me, I know I'm not the only one, it's probably the easiest way to sum myself up. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm just a creative person with a lot of interests, and I don't like to put myself into one lane.
I love that. We're definitely going to dive into multi-passionate because I definitely know there's so many people that would resonate with you and your story. I want to first go back to especially around modelling, beauty industry, Miss Universe Australia, because obviously that's the most recent and probably what most people would recognise you for currently.
Yes.
So you first started modelling back in high school, was that right?
Yeah, so it's high school. I'm living in my rural town, which is about 3 hours away from Brisbane, inland. And it's year 12, I'm doing exams, but I'm also now being a model. I went and did a self-confidence sort of photo shoot. I was going through a really dark time mentally in year 12. And so my mum kind of said, look, go do this. It could be fun. I went there, was picked up by a photographer. She asked me to shoot with her. That got published in a big fashion magazine called Rush.
Oh, stop it.
And from there, it's kind of just gone off and it's become something that I love to do. And so, yeah, I started modelling in high school. So I was
my God.
driving on my Ps, down to the Gold Coast every now and then, skipping school for a little bit, take a day off here and there. But that's kind of how I broke into the world. It wasn't really something I sought out to do, but I love it so much.
Isn't it amazing? Because initially I was thinking, oh, she must have been such a confident person to decide, I want to be a model. That's the industry I want to be in.
No way. I think that confidence has slowly grown over the years when you kind of realise I can do the thing.
Yeah.
I entered having no confidence at all. I showed up on that first shoot. I was terrified. I cried in the car on the way there because I thought, damn, this photographer thinks I'm the real deal and I'm just a fraud and I'm not even a model. I did one photo shoot and now she wants this to be in a magazine. But it's all worked out and it was an amazing experience.
So that first shoot, I'm just trying to picture what happened. So you just decided there was a self-confidence course and they did a shoot?
It was kind of like a photo shoot, in a studio. They were like, bring your outfits. It was nice. And it was like a little photo shoot. I love those images. And I used them in my early modelling portfolio to kind of get into agencies. And then the first shoot, which was shot at the magazine, which was at Wivenhoe Dam, which is out. Oh, yeah. It's in the sticks.
Yeah, it is.
And so I drove there and we're just shooting on the side of the road, essentially. It looks also like grassland sort of vibe. It was really cool, an editorial. Some of my favourite pictures to this day.
I love this. And I love it's like you've almost just fallen into this industry.
Yes, I just fell into it, but I felt like I've always been a creative person. I loved painting. I loved writing stories. I was convinced I was going to be an author or something. Maybe I will. Add another hat in the ring.
Multi-passionate.
It's just another way to express your creativity.
Yeah.
Kind of take on a different character when you're modelling, a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's, really fun.
Okay, let's keep going and talking about the beauty industry because I feel like with social media now, what you look like is very much at the forefront because it's likes and comments and all this external validation around what you look like. Some can be quite negative, and filters and apps that will cinch in your waist or change the way you look. And if you think about the modeling industry or even Miss Universe in particular, that was always known as a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
Always. So if we think about why you decided to audition and what is your view on what it represents now?
I think we've really come a long way, especially in the pageantry world. And I realised that when I entered Miss Universe, that it was so much more than a beauty pageant. Really, we call it a program because that's what it is. It's a self-development program, and I feel like it has been my absolute rocket fuel to this confidence level that you would have saw when I met you.
Yeah, like exuding confidence.
Standing up and saying who I am. Think back to me 9 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to stand up and speak about myself with such conviction and confidence. And that's because the program has really supported me to level that up. And I think all of us are beautiful. Like if you looked at the national stage, you would have been like, she's gorgeous, she's gorgeous, she's gorgeous. But the difference is like the caliber of women and what all of them were achieving is just, I can't even put into words like how special it was to be surrounded by all of them, each of us in our own lane, doing so many different things, but just with such like a tenacity to be successful no matter what.
Yeah. What made you decide to audition then?
For me, I entered on a whim.
Yeah, typical. There's a whole career.
And entering on a whim. It was kind of like, you know what, why not do this? Why not me? I think for so much of my life, I always thought, you know, I'm not the person that's meant to be in this room. I can't do this at the same time. I can't be the person that represents, you know, the women of Australia on a national stage. Like that could never be little old me. So I just decided to submit. I filmed my 30-second intro in one take, press submit, and kind of forgot about it until I got that email saying I was in as a state finalist, which was incredible.
Insane.
Yeah.
And can you, because you've given me a little bit of behind the scenes about it, which I found so fascinating.
Yes.
So tell me what you can tell me. But in terms of behind the scenes for the program, which is not a typical beauty pageant anymore, what did it look like for you?
For me, it looks like I made so many incredible friends. Like the connections I have, I could go to any state in Australia and say, hey, I need to catch the crash on or a room to stay in, and there would be 5-10 girls putting their hands up to say, take me in. So I think that's, you know, the biggest thing about it. And also it was a lot more about learning how to speak. We did a whole 8-hour course in Vietnam. We went overseas for a week. 8-hour course. It was very intense, learning how to stand up, present, how to pronounce your vowels more correctly.
I need lessons.
Yes, it was like phenomenal, but like that's kind of the confidence boosting. We did a lot of runway practice, which was less about, you know, being able to do the perfect walk, but more about how to embody confidence and like the reason why you're there on stage. And I'll always remember Thelma, who was the walking coach, and she is incredible at building self-confidence in all of us. She was like, you know, remember the reason why you're here. Who are you doing it for? And embody that when you're walking. And yeah, that's something, it's so much more than just what you look like. This is what I mean. It's building your confidence to, you know, be yourself in any room that you walk into.
And if you could answer that question, who were you doing it for?
I was definitely doing it for the little Asha. I always think about her and how unsure she felt about herself, where she was meant to be in the world, who she was meant to be. I think that's a lot of women go through is, you know, figuring out your place. And, you know, I have realised that, you know, it's not about me finding my place, it's making my own. And that's kind of what I have done. And that's who I was walking on stage for. And also my top 10 answer, which is, it's devastating on the national stage when we're all standing there and they announce top 10 and there's 20 girls and women that don't get a chance to answer a Q&A. I knew when I was answering my question, I was answering for them because there was 20 women that I thought 110% deserved my place so much more than me. And so I knew I had to speak for them as well.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
What is a top 10 question? Now I'm just curious.
Yeah. So really the Q&A section, you have 30 seconds and you go up to this bowl and you pull your question out of a hat, essentially. Yeah. and you have to answer that on stage. So my question was about what value do I think parents should instill in their children and why. Mm-hmm. There was a few other questions about immigration and a few other different ones, but it's just more about current affairs and your own personal beliefs.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say? What was your answer?
I said self-belief.
Oh,
I said that was my main reason. And, looking back on my answer now, I really loved how I answered it, but being honest, I've been falling into the, mindset of, what if I had said this? What if I had done that better?
Everyone does.
And it's been so hard to, in the months after, pull myself out of that and just realise I spoke from the heart on stage. I did what I could and I left it all out there, and that's all that matters.
And I think your answer is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it also is that whole circle, just from what you said, from that beginning and that younger Asha to where you are now and having that as the thing you would want to instill.
Yeah.
I think that is the most perfect answer you could have given.
It all makes sense, and it's nerve-wracking, standing up there and they've just read this question out and it's like the whole room was silent and I was like, I have to speak. But when I was standing there, I didn't feel nerves. I didn't feel any sort of nervousness or, oh my gosh, how am I going to answer this? I was so content in whatever would happen. And I think that's just being the result of being so sure in yourself and being so prepared for anything you come across.
And thank God for that Vietnam speaking coach 8-hour session.
I know. That was it was a vulnerable day that day. No phones. There was only 10 of us in the room, and we all, to start off, I remember the first activity was, okay, stand up, walk in the room, and you've got 30 seconds to introduce yourself. And, all of us, we kind of hadn't met each other before this. It was all of the girls from all across Australia coming together. So, new faces, and it was like, we've got to impress. There's that pressure that you're putting on yourself because you're like, damn, this is happening. One of us is going to be Miss Universe Australia. I've got to show up and show that I'm going to be the one. So there's a lot of energy in that room, and it definitely got vulnerable in my session at least. But I love that because it definitely brought us all closer together. And I think, it's just that womanhood and girlhood like bonding that we had there, being able to show up for each other and not judge each other. It was really lovely.
I love this. I want to go back to what you said when you were talking about, being on stage representing Australia. I feel like, especially with Miss Universe and modelling, in terms of inclusivity, has been somewhat lacking. I know from a fact for Miss Universe, there was only 3 women of colour in the whole 70 years of the competition, pageant, I don't even know what's called, program of the program, which I think is like that represented Australia on the stage. So I think that is quite insane. Yeah. So how did you feel coming into modelling or Miss Universe Australia, kind of knowing that?
I think it's something that I carry with me every day as a woman of colour walking around the world. I know that I'm that percent that's, been in the room, and it's not a lot. So it's almost like this another weight expectation on your shoulders to know that you're not only representing yourself, but you're also representing all the other little girls that look like you. And so it was hard. And when I entered the modelling industry, I definitely knew that as well. It was one of my major reasons why I was so determined to make it work and to be successful, because I remember being a little girl, and I know this is a story that almost everyone who looks like me probably has experienced, is that I would look at magazines, I would look in the stores when I'm walking around the shopping centre trying to find a dress, and there's no one that kind of looks like me, no one with hair like mine. So I just knew that I have to be that person for them and standing on that stage. And it's so nice. In my work, I go into schools and that sort of thing, and it's nice to see girls that do look like me, that see all the things that I do, all the work that I do, and they go, wow, I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. And it's just nice to know that, okay, I've become, crown or not, become that person for them. But especially in the Miss Universe competition this year, it was nice. There was a group of us that it was quite a diverse group. There's Greek girls, there was girls from Africa, and I think it was so nice that we could all come together and kind of embrace our differences and just celebrate them as well. It was so nice to see, especially Ivy being the runner-up this year. So nice to see her up there. And I was like, I can't wait for the day that we see the crown on another set of curls.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It would be so lovely.
I really, really love that. I think crown or not, the impact that you're making just by showing up and doing the work that you're doing is so impactful, because you're so right. I would love to know what you would say to women who don't see themselves represented on stages or in magazines or in movies, because it's so true, whether that's women of colour, whether that's women of different body shapes, whether that's different hair. Like I can use my story as an example. Is I had, you know, really bad acne when I was growing up because my health wasn't in a good state, and I still have scars. But imagine being told that that is ugly, or being told that, like, not being shown, and just everything was flawless when you're growing up. It's, you are not represented, and mine is just like a small instance of
it's the same thing. It's like, and I think that comes back to my whole reason of entering Miss Universe, of doing modelling. Why not you? Like, why can't you be that person to open the doors for all the other people to come? Like, I think about, you know, the other Miss Universes that Australia's that have been, you know, women of colour. Yeah. Like, they've opened the door for me to enter, because I remember seeing Maria Tatil up on stage, and I look at her now and I'm like, okay, like, I entered because I saw that she did it, so I can now step into that too. You're just laying the path for someone else. So I think, if you're somebody who feels like you haven't seen yourself represented, you can be that person to open the door for others.
I love that. You said something that said visibility creates possibility. What do you mean by that?
So I think this is what I mean. Like, you being the person to stand up there and be seen, even though it's absolutely terrifying most of the time, to be vulnerable like that and to say, yes, I am probably for me, the only woman of colour in this room, or something like that. You are creating a possibility for somebody else to then see themselves being where you have stood after you've moved on. You know, I think about, you know, doing a TEDx talk, for example.
Which you should.
Which I should. But if, you know, I stood up on that stage, I'm visible, people are seeing me doing amazing things, then there's the possibility for other young women, other girls that look like me, other people that look like me, to see themselves and envision themselves on that stage as well.
I agree. I think there's nothing more powerful. I use the word, they're expanders for me. It's you see them, someone doing it, and it's not an act of jealousy or envy. It's an act of, if they can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
Why not me?
Why not me? Yeah.
I love that.
It's like my mantra.
I love that. Okay, so you also talk a lot about resilience.
Yes.
So could you tell me what that word means for you?
Resilience for me means the belief that you are going to do what you said you were going to do, and that you can continue through the hard times.
Yeah.
So for me, a lot of, like, my life, there has been a lot of ups and downs, as there would be for so many women, especially if you're incredibly ambitious.
I get it.
There's going to be setback after setback after setback, and I have been through that, whether that's modelling jobs not going through, whether that's, you know, standing there for top 10 and I didn't get announced for top 5. I was devastated, as you would be, but it's the ability to just go, okay, I'm going to be sad for half an hour, a couple of days, and then I'm going to get back up, and I know I can continue on, because to get to this point, I've also had to go through so many setbacks to get to here, so I can continue on. And for me, I think that's one of the most important values that anybody can have. Resilience is what drives me to get up in the morning every day, even when, you know, I'm in my luteal phase and I'm like, damn, I want to stay in bed.
Me today.
Yes. Well, like, this is what I'm saying. It's resilience. That's what keeps you going. And it's not a value that, you know, you're born and you have it. You have to experience some sort of challenges to go through it. And of course, some people, their challenges may be bigger than others, but every challenge is equal and still builds up your resilience, in my opinion.
Do you feel like there was defining moments in your life that built that type of resilience?
Yeah, I think for me, growing up, I grew up in outback Queensland for a lot of my younger childhood. So I was given a lot of freedom to explore and be curious, and like I'm riding horses by myself and I'm 7 or 8, just off, into the sunset. But of course there was like a lot of times there where I felt behind. I would go to the city on the holidays and I'm like, oh, my cousins are doing this, doing that, and I'm stuck out here. When I moved, closer to the city for high school, I struggled to make friends and to fit in, and struggled with my self-worth in that sort of way. And so for me to keep pushing through and to, finish high school, to even get my degree now, when I, back in May, if you talked to me, I would have been an absolute nightmare to talk to. I was in tears most of the nights, writing my thesis and trying to juggle the tech startup, working, Miss Universe that had now also come onto my plate. There was a lot of pressure, but I trusted in my capacity. And I think that's where I've learnt resilience the most is, in my own capacity.
I really love that. What if you could help someone who feels like maybe they're at that path, or, they're not going to be able to be on stage saying like, I Miss Universe and they didn't get like top 10, but there's setbacks that happen for everybody.
There's huge setbacks,
What do you do, or what's some strategies that you do maybe subconsciously to help overcome those moments?
My favourite thing is to write out a success list. This is something I do every month, at the end of every month.
Tell me.
So I kind of go back through and I think, okay, what are the little achievements or accomplishments that I've had this month or this week or in my lifetime? Let's say if it's a big setback, like, something hasn't gone through, a deal hasn't gone through that you thought would. Just look back on all of those small achievements you've had. Even if it's sometimes, okay, I said to myself I was going to walk on the beach every morning this week and I did that. Tick. And it's just proof. It's like proof and evidence in front of you that I can do things and this setback will not hold me back from continuing on.
I really love that. I also love that you do that every month.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good way to like kind of wrap up and tie up the month and go, I really did things. Because if you're high achieving, you're constantly moving the goalpost on yourself. Like to me, I just finished my degree and I'm like, PhD. Maybe I'll do that.
Next.
I haven't even had time to settle in and realise and soak in that I am doing things that me 4 or 5 years ago didn't think was possible. So it's always a nice way to give yourself that reminder that you are achieving things that you wanted to do.
I really will adapt that. I think I do it every quarter and definitely at the end of the year. I think it's so amazing to reflect back. Because just it's the same, and a lot of women listening are high achievers. It's just they just do a lot, and they keep moving the goalpost, and we don't actually take the time to celebrate everything we have achieved.
Like celebrate the wins. Like even after I think about the Miss Universe, because I think that's the biggest like setback, I guess, that I've achieved. Setback. Well, this is the thing. It's that language, right? That I'm telling myself subconsciously that I didn't win, but even being there was a win. There was 500 people that applied this year, and I was in the top 10 of those 500 people. Like, even that is a win in itself. But sometimes when you're in it and you're feeling all the emotions, you kind of become blinded by the fact that this is a milestone that needs to be celebrated. Even getting to the point and having that setback is a milestone to celebrate in itself.
100%. And I think we're always our worst critics. We will always see the negative versus all the positive that have come out of that. So for me sitting here being like, you were top 10 in all of Australia.
But then I will sit there and be like, no, I could have done better. I should have said this better.
Always. We were always as high achievers. Okay, you saying when you were talking on stage, it was that thing about, should I be here? Should I be in the room? And there's that conversation about imposter syndrome that a lot of people have. And as someone that walked into big rooms in big, high areas, so Miss Universe, tech, startup, like huge spaces that are already dominating, how do you overcome something like that?
I think it's something that you just have to practice, and it's one of those things, people say you just have to do it. It is one of those things, so you just have to do it, but also build yourself up to that moment. Like for me, I became more active on Instagram. So I got more used to the idea that people are perceiving me. So I think that's a big thing for a lot of people, is that fear of being perceived. And I see that so much in the work that I do for my social media clients. It's like they do not want to show up and be seen as themselves and to have other people make judgments on them. And so that's where a lot, for me, I think imposter syndrome comes from, is your thoughts that other people are going to be looking at you and saying you're a fraud, you don't deserve to be there. So to cut that out, you build up like those little achievement milestones. I posted on LinkedIn and the world didn't combust. And nobody messaged me and said, I hate you, that was such a silly post. Like, nobody's doing that. But you just think that in your head, right?
Yeah, we do.
And you think that when you're standing on the stage that, oh, people are laughing at me, people are saying, oh, why would she answer like that? Realistically, no one is doing it. And if people are standing there watching you have this achievement, they probably wish that they were you on the stage. But they would never do it because they don't have the guts and the ambition to stand up there. And so, yeah, for me, that's how you kind of squash imposter syndrome.
Just do it anyway.
Just do it anyway. Because if you don't, then you will be regretting not taking that step.
Yeah, I really think it's really good. It's actually so funny because on the way here, I was listening to a podcast and it was a quote by Dwayne Johnson. It was not The Rock on the podcast. It was Grace Beverly interviewing someone else. But she quoted The Rock, which said, day one or one day.
Yeah.
And
I love
was like,
that.
oh my God, I love
That's
that.
to the point. And it's so true. Day one or one day.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep sitting around and waiting, or do you want to just do the thing? Because sometimes, we can make the vision board, we can make the to-do list, we can plan, but that's only going to do so much until you start actually taking action.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Maybe small actions is better. Because sure, if I want to be on a TEDx stage, that's a huge goal and it feels unachievable. And then that imposter syndrome and that little voice comes in saying, you could never do that. But if you start doing the little steps like posting on LinkedIn, going live on Instagram, going on a podcast, then you slowly build up, your capacity and your ability in your mind that, standing on the TEDx stage actually isn't that much further from what I've already done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about Miss Universe. I was like, okay, I've already done modelling. Like, I know what it's like to be in front of people. I've walked fashion weeks. I already know what it's like to have hundreds of eyes watching me and what I'm doing. So standing up on stage and answering a question really isn't that far from what I've already done.
It's just like the next
It's just like
level.
the next level. It's just the next little step up a stairs. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Then how do you go from that into then imposter syndrome entering the tech world? So if we talk about your flow.
Yeah, it's been hard. It's like, okay, I'm a woman in the tech space and I'm a woman of colour. So we're really ticking off all the things,
boxes.
all the boxes that could possibly hold you back. And for me, I adore my co-founder, James. He is fantastic and also my partner in life.
Of course you'd adore him.
Of course I adore him. And he is I would say he's like the driving engine behind it. And I'm the vision girl. And so the two of us together we've built like such an amazing app and we've built a really incredible community as well. But that imposter syndrome really ticked in. I remember the day when James said, let's just build the app. And I was like, whoa. Me building an app? Not possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how to code really. I kind of do, but not as much as he does. And I was like, I've never built a business or a company to this scale before. Where do you even start? And then so you start snowballing and that imposter syndrome comes in, thinking, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to post about it and say, I am a tech founder. But once you start doing it, I started making action. I've, made the Instagram, started people testing the app. I was like, I've actually done the thing. And you kind of squash that to the side.
Yeah. What made you, if we're talking about the app, about your company, what gave you the idea to be like, I see this problem.
Yeah.
And then I could create a solution.
For me, it was, I had been doing content creation for quite a while and I was continually hitting burnout and hitting my capacity of what I could keep up with doing. A lot of the content creation world is still in emails, which feels very
old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned, right? When there is, there's Notion, there's all of these beautiful workspaces that other industries use day to day, But so many content creators are still stuck in emails, still stuck trying to put together a template of their own in these other, technologies. So I thought, why not make something that is more fit to the use case that creators need every day? Because the use case is quite different. We're sending briefs, we're getting approvals, this and that. And, our workflow is kind of stuck together with a mix of, emails, Dropbox, Canva, Zoom. It's all in one, and it gets confusing and messy. And I realized that my system was the reason why I was like hitting this wall, it felt like, with what I could do as a creator and what I could do with my own like business being a creator. I didn't have the foundation or the structure to support me to kind of level up. So we just decided to build it. It was almost like in The Notebook when he says like, I'll build the house for you.
Yes.
That's kind of what James was like to me on the couch when we were thinking of the idea. It was like, I'll just build the app for you, because he was kind of sick of me having breakdowns every other day about
phase breakdowns.
This email. Oh, why are they emailing me? They're, following up again and again, and I can't find it. And I decided to build the system to stop that.
I think that is a huge, confidence factor. To be like, we'll just build this app.
Something my friend said the other day when I was kind of getting in my head about your flow and the success and, how it's going. And she said, if you were a man, would you be thinking like this?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I was like, probably not. Probably not. It's just because as women, we're only just entering the business space. We're only just taking up like that sort of market share in the business world. So of course we're going to start feeling that imposter syndrome, and we don't know how to, think like men have been thinking in business for many, many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of my favorite things to always center myself back. So if I was a man, would I be saying this?
Yeah.
No. And I think that for me was reflected when James just said, yeah, let's build an app. We can do it. And he didn't have any sort of, unsureness about him, but that's also his personality. He will just get things done.
I really love that you've almost fit, it's like perfectly. And I guess if you didn't have James, then even if you had that idea, knowing your personality and your drive, you'd probably go find someone that would do it anyway.
I would go find someone that would do it anyway. And I think for me, even now, building my own like social media management business out now, using your flow, I've been able to go into that and go, yeah, I can do this, because I've just built up that, experience and that, evidence in my mind that I can do these things, and you kind of just squash the imposter syndrome down.
Oh, I really love this. Okay, because you are such a multi-passionate human, I think this is going to be really good to give advice to the other multi-passionate people.
Yes.
So how do you feel like, you talked about in May that you were having breakdowns because you were juggling a million things.
Yes.
How do you kind of navigate everything that you were doing?
I love my calendar to bits.
Same.
That's rule number one. And for me, having space to be creative as well has been really important. I found myself when I was having, mental breakdowns and I was like, I can't do this, and it felt all very overwhelming. I realized I wasn't giving myself enough space to just play and to be creative. And a lot of multi-passionate people are creative people as well. So it's like, if you don't give yourself that time to just think freely, like, you're never going to be able to pour back into all of these different things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And I also love having little days to do certain things.
Oh, me too. Structured days.
Yeah, structured days. So I'm like, this day is the day where I'm working on the app. This day is the day where I'm teaching the kids in the school. This day, And that just kind of centers my brain a little bit more to manage it. But at the end of the day, I kind of remember, why do I do all of these different things? What's the one thing that's kind of in common with all of the different aspects of myself? And it's, for me, it's showing other people that they can have, self-belief in themselves, and that, visibility is possibility. Like, that's what I kind of bring to the table at every single thing that I do.
Yeah.
So just centering yourself back to your big why is really important.
I really love that. And I think also when we're in school, for example, we are always told that you have to pick one career and then you just go hard on said career. And obviously, well, I have changed careers that many times, but you have done the opposite as well.
Yeah, I've really done the opposite.
So what do you feel like for other women, or anyone kind of feeling like they're stuck in that industry because that's what they chose and they have all these other different passions outside that?
Well, just try it. I think just try it. And even if it's not quitting your full-time job to go and just be in this career, just, keep that job. And then in your spare time, start building this out. Have it as your passion project. And then you'll feel the love and the joy for what you do. And then slowly you can, take it over. Like with Your Flow, James and I were both still working our normal jobs and we do it outside of that. So we're waking up, 5 o'clock, we'll work on Your Flow, go to work. Nighttime, we're also doing Your Flow and weekends and that sort of thing. But that's the best way to kind of explore those interests and just know that you can trust yourself to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because you got to this point in your career already and clearly people like having you around because you still have a job and you're still good at what you do. So why couldn't you be good at doing something else? Yeah. Like at the end of the day, you're the person that's going in and doing this different position. You're going to bring all of your skills and your personality and everything to that role as well. So you will succeed at that too.
Yeah. And I think also what you just said before about tying it all back to your why, because they're all, at the end of the day, umbrellas and facets of you.
Yes.
And
you're the person behind it, at the center of it all.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I imagine myself. I'm such a visual person. It's almost like I'm the center of this like web and there's all the different things that I do, but it always comes back to me. Yeah. And that's why I think with people that want to explore a different passion or maybe change their career, you aren't your career. Your career always links back to you.
Yes, yeah. We will start wrapping up soon. I could keep talking to you forever. But you did say that one of your biggest missions in life is bridging the gap and that opportunity gap for other people.
Yeah.
So that they can have the career, any career that they want because they have that ability. So what does that mean for you coming from all your experiences?
For me, that just means being the person that someone else can look up to and go, wow, I can do all of the different things. So I hope that maybe people listening will see me, see what I've done and go, okay, I can also have that side project. I can also do that as well and follow my passion. So being visible is first of all, but then also being on the ground and supporting people to find that belief within themselves. So I love doing a lot of work in the schools and educating them about robotics and tech and everything. It's super fun. But like I get to see them discover that for themselves because I'm there to help guide them. And I think that's the other part of it, like the other way that I kind of do that by, letting them, they play with the code and their robot doesn't go straight away. And then they kind of immediately come to me and say, fix it. And I said, well, why don't you try? You figure it out. You can do this, being that person for them. And then you see them realize that self-belief. They kind of, see that they can do the thing that they thought they couldn't do.
And it's building that resilience.
Yeah. It all comes together. And then you know what? Maybe, that little kid in my grade 5 class that I taught last week, when he's, finishing year 12 and he doesn't know what to do with his career, he knows that he can, follow his passion and change his mind later. That's so fine.
That is such good advice.
Yeah.
If you had to leave the women listening with one little tidbit that they could take away, one piece of advice, what would you say?
This is the one we spoke about earlier. But before you do any sort of speaking engagement, no caffeine before and lots of sips of water. A practical one. But it's so important.
So important. Yeah. It's true. Asha was like, I'm not having caffeine before. I was like, oh, okay, I won't either.
But yeah, that's my piece of advice. A very practical one.
Practical. I'm a practical girl, so I love that. Now, before everybody leaves, every woman opens her file.
Ooh.
So in here are 3 questions that help us understand you a little bit better. Help us understand how you became her, the woman that you are today. So I will pass you the file. You can answer or have a look at the questions. Pick one that resonates the most with you. Read it aloud and just whatever comes to your head.
Okay.
I feel like you're back on Miss Universe. Sorry. Picking the question.
No, I get to pick the question this time and it's not just random. Oh, these are really good. Okay. what's one part of yourself that you're still learning to love? For me, I think it's my chaotic weirdness is one part of myself that I'm still learning to love. I think I have such an outgoing personality and I've really kind of unlocked that recently, but sometimes I can be in a room and think I'm being a bit too much for people or think that I'm being too silly when we should be being serious. So that's one part of myself that I'm still learning to love and to realize that that's just as much as part of me as every other part. And, the bit about me that loves, science and being a tech founder, like being truly myself and outgoing is also a part of me.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Asha Cooper, thank you so much for coming on, for inspiring women all across Australia, across the world. I know that you are going to do such big things. I can see your multi-passionate self going every which way, doing such incredible things. So if people are interested in following your journey, where do they find you?
Usually on Instagrams, quite a lot. So Asha Cooper, but with 3 O's. And my name was taken, which is really disappointing. And then on LinkedIn as well, just Asha Cooper.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Asha.
Thank you.